Okay, back again on the Ant series. Episode 2, The Giant in the Shadow. Last time on the Ant series, Professor Ant, Captain Ant, and Little Ant discovered giant footsteps in the forest. Then came the footsteps. Boom, boom, boom. And finally, the giant covered them all. It was more like a blanket. I'm just messing with you. Okay, our story continues from here. 3 ants stood frozen. The giant leaned closer, closer, and closer. This is it. Captain Ant squeezed his eyes shut. Little Ant whispered, "We had a good run." Little Ant grabbed his arm. Brave Ant was scared. He's supposed to be brave. Well, then the giant spoke. "What do we have here?" The ants slowly opened their eyes. Standing before them was not even a monster, not a dragon, not even a bird. It was a young boy, a human boy. He couldn't have been more than 10 years old or 9 years old. He was carrying a backpack and holding a magnifying glass. Captain Ant sighed in relief. "Oh, good." Little Ant nodded. Much better than a dragon. The boy knelt down. His giant face filled the sky. "Interesting," he said. The ant stared upward. Interesting?" Captain Ant even whispered. "Interesting? We are interesting." Then the boy gently placed a small piece of bread on the ground. And then he placed another piece. And then he placed another piece on the ground. Little Ant, his eyes widened. "Food! Food! Food! Lots of food!" Without even thinking, Captain Ant charged forward all the way. "Wait! Wait!" Professor Ant shouted. "Wait!" But it was too late. Captain Ant climbed onto the bread and began stuffing crumbs into leaf bags. "This is amazing!" Little Ant joined him. "This is the easiest food mission ever!" A friend of mine used to do that. Professor Ant, unlike the two other ants, just kept watching. Didn't want to join them for whatever reason. He was thinking and observing. The boy continued placing bread pieces on the ground. 1, 2, 3, like little drops of water. A perfect trail leading somewhere. Professor Ant frowned. Little Ant noticed and asked, "Professor, what's wrong?" The Professor Ant pointed. "Why would someone leave food in a straight line?" Captain Ant. "Oh, you're just too crazy, Professor Ant. Always overthinking everything." And of course, Captain Ant was like, "Who cares?" Professor Ant replied calmly, "Smart ants ask why. Always ask why." The 2 younger ants stopped. The trail continued through the grass, over the hill, toward a strange object sitting in the distance. The boy smiled and he walked away. "Professor," Little Ant squinted. "What's that thing over there?" His eyes widened. Oh no! Wait! It's a jar! Captain Ant stopped the train. Professor Ant shouted, "The bread trails leads into the jar!" Silence. Then Captain Ant slowly swallowed. That's not good. Professor Ant shook his head. It's a trap. Suddenly they heard shouting, not human shouting. Ant shouting, tiny ant shouting. I wouldn't hear the sound, you know what I'm saying? I'm just telling the story. But the ants were shouting, "Ooh, help, help, help." Only the ants could hear that kind of shout, you know. The volume was like really low, like below the low. Yeah, you know. Help, help. And then the three friends turned around and looked closer, and inside the jar were dozens and dozens of ants trapped. Dozens of ants were trapped, unable to climb the slippery glass walls. Captain Ant gasped. They followed the food. Little Ant looked worried. What do we do, Professor? Other ants were trapped, and they were crying out. Captain Ant stepped forward. I guess we will rescue them! Then Professor Ant said, Hold on, we need a plan. Little Ant smiled. A smart plan, Professor. And the professor, The three ants stared at the glass prison. Inside were dozens of frightened ants. Outside, the sun was beginning to set. And of course, far away, not too far, the boy was walking back to the jar. Captain Ant gulped. Professor. And then the professor said, Yes? How much time do we have? Said Captain Ant. And then the professor looked at the approaching giant, then at the trapped ants. Not enough. The footsteps began again. Boom, 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 boom. The giant was coming back. Boom, boom, boom. The giant was coming back. To be continued. Lessons from episode 2. Not every opportunity is a blessing. Ask questions. Wisdom beckons. Ask questions before taking the bait. See you next time.